The Bengals have needed a change of direction in their franchise for a while. And that's why when they drafted Joe Burrow, I was actually hopeful. For like the first time since I've been watching football, I think the Bengals finally made the choice that was best for them, at least to build on. Now, they stink this year, and they probably will. I think I had them winning 5 wins in my projection video, and they probably will stink most of next year too. But they just needed Burrow. The Burrow pick was great for them. The Bengals had talent in places. I mean, at D-line, they had Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap, 2 All-Pro and Pro Bowl players. At wide receiver, Tyler Boyd, and now the oft-injured A.J. Green. But, I mean, he was so promising for a point in his career, and he's still a great veteran receiver. And then you throw in a recently re-signed young running back, Joe Mixon, who's a stud. And, I mean, that's a pretty good. Those are some talented players on an organization that's just kind of been a mess. They had Marvin Lewis for 16 years, and he may as well have done nothing. I mean, they went to the playoffs 7 times in those 16 years, which isn't a bad percentage, honestly, but they never won. He was 0-7 in the playoffs with them. I mean, he just could not coach in big games. And thankfully, they've moved on as of now. And with the young Zach Taylor from the ever so looked for Sean McVay tree of coaches, it looked like they were finally, making steps in the right direction. And so again, they just needed what every team was built around, a quarterback. Sadly, Andy Dalton his inconsistencies outshined what he could have maybe been on a better team and a better organization. So they picked the man himself, down from the Bayou, and now the former LSU Tiger, Joe Burrow. I was huge on Burrow out of college. Ask anyone I talked to about him. I mean, it's extremely difficult to tell if a prospect is going to be good out of college because so many guys can look good in college and just not pan out in the pros. Trent Richardson, Jamarcus Russell, etc., etc. But Burrow had a few things, these sort of intangibles that not many guys had. Well, first off, I mean, he was a natural-born leader, as seen by that, and his swagger and ability to gain respect of all those around him. He had those things, and those aren't things you can really coach on to someone. They're just kind of things that someone has or hasn't, I believe. Then comes his debut in Los Angeles against the Chargers. Was it great? Not really. I mean, he was all right, with C, B minus, probably about in that ballpark if I was to rate him on a letter scale. But, I mean, 200 passing yards, 50 rushing yards, and then sadly a missed opportunity for some overtime heroics because of Randy Bullock. Thank you, Randy Bullock, for missing that and totally faking an injury. What was apparent to me, though, again, just became his swagger and his, fight. I mean, the 18-yard draw play on the drive where he scored the touchdown was so, surprising to me. Because, of course, I knew he was, athletic in college, but, I mean, he had some get up and go. And not to mention, I mean, the Chargers' defense is not bad. I mean, Bosa and Ingram coming off the edge on a battered Bengals O-line that really hasn't been good since Whitworth left. And then you throw in a great core of corners led by Casey Hayward. I mean, that's a good defense that Burrow had to play his first game against. And, I think he did all right for it being his first game for an organization that's historically just been awful. Even in the loss, he showed promise. I mean, like I was saying a second ago, he was way more athletic than I thought he was going to be coming onto the football field. He really was that was something that surprised me. He looked more athletic. He was better in the pocket. He was very mobile. He wasn't allowing himself because, I mean, he was getting rushed a lot. I mean, the Chargers are known for that, just sending the front four but getting great pressure. And, he knew that. And it looked like he knew that. He was ready for it. He came prepared, which I was just pretty cool to see. And I mean, I really don't buy into rookies quick. But it's pretty crazy how in a relatively bad game for most quarterbacks, I was really impressed by Joe Burrow. I mean, his O-line did him no favors. I mean, on what would have been a game-winning touchdown, A.J. Green had a push-off. I mean, he did not have really anything going for him, but they kept fighting behind him. And, his team was fighting. It was something I haven't seen out of the Bengals since that one deep run the the deep run. It was when they finally broke their streak to enter the playoffs, and then they flopped in the first round. But I mean, they had fight that year. This is what I see in the Bengals, which like I just said, I just really haven't seen. So I'm really excited for Burrow. I don't say that about many rookies, but I mean, he really was putting up a show, and it kind of makes me almost regret my pick for Jonathan Taylor for Rookie of the Year, because man, I really think Burrow now has a chance after watching that first game. I'm just, let's just say I'm definitely really excited to see how this rookie season plays out for him, and I'm wishing him the best of luck. So yeah, that's my video. Feel free to leave a comment on what you thought of Burrow's debut. Sure, it was lackluster. Did you see the same things I saw? Did you think he was worse than I thought he was? Be sure to let me know in the comments. Feel free to subscribe. I mean, it is free, and it's, it just helps me out. Like the video too helps. I'll know to do more of these sort of just single player impromptu reviews. But yeah, thanks for watching.